Alright guys, it is officially finally time to get back into this series. Episode 4, here we are. I'm excited to be back. I apologize guys, so the last video I made, I wasn't feeling totally great. I didn't get sick, but it's definitely been allergies, so it's really kicked my butt. I've been congested and stuff, so I didn't really have the voice to really do these voice recordings, and I've just been kind of lethargic, so busy with other stuff too, so haven't been able to make the videos I wanted to. So let's get back into it. Obviously we left off building the coaster, and I said we're going to do the scenery the next video. Well, here we are, and we're doing the scenery. So obviously we built everything coaster wise and station wise, the basic stuff, and did basically nothing else other than do the little tunnel building that it goes through. So my idea after I built that tunnel building was actually to do, well, kind of a style, since it was a building, not just like an actual tunnel form. I figured the roller coaster theme, I kind of didn't plan it out prior, I kind of went with the flow, and I already kind of named the coaster before I even started this video. I didn't physically type it in, I don't think yet, but oh lord, if I could speak today. Let's go back. Mountain Springs Rush. So basically, you know, the station that you start off in is a large water spring building that we're going to be building. It's really just going to be an old, kind of like rickety, beat up kind of looking brick building with some metal corrugated roofing and a pipe coming off the side. We're going to go into more detail in a future episode too, obviously, but to start is to form this terrain formation, like a smaller hill mountain. We'll probably have to reshape it later on, but the idea is to make it start right off into a tunnel, like almost a tunnel system around and back up, just to kind of hide it and just make it look cool, and also a cool start to the ride. Nice little lit up tunnel, so we'll have to put some lights in there. Don't know if we'll do that in this episode or not, but it's a kind of go in, and right around the corner you shoot back out and you're about to go up the hill. So doing a rock formation there, making it all stone just kind of makes sense in a situation like that. I might put a grass patch back in later. I think stones kind of just make sense, rock for everything. It really just kind of looks a bit like a big boulder kind of mountain. So, and obviously the overall idea is to just build a big mountain where the hill on the other side is, not the hill that you go up first. And so that's going to be the goal today. Start off with terrain formations, and then obviously do the station and everything around it. So, like I said, we have the little building that you kind of shoot down into. Thought that was kind of cool. Sorry guys, I completely stopped filming. Didn't realize that I wasn't filming for building this. So, yes, my apologies, but also it's kind of boring. It took me a solid while to build this, and not even close to done yet, formed out. But this is the mountain that I was talking about. This was the whole goal, and the whole thing was to just make it a big mountain. It kind of reminds me of Expedition Everest kind of thing from Disney World, but that was the idea, kind of just a big mountain that shoots up into almost, but it kind of doesn't touch it. It goes right up around the peak, but then kind of goes right back into the base of the mountain, goes around through a tunnel, and shoots back out over some rolling hills. Like I said, the theme is like a big mountain spring area, so I put one pond, like a little crater pond area in there, and then I'm going to put another one in here. So we're just going to kind of terraform that, make it a little bit deeper. I think I go extremely deep for no reason, but you know, it also makes it easy to get a high profile water in there, so because all the sides are perfectly upright. So I kind of wanted to make it look natural, but also plenty obvious that there's a decent sized thing of water there, so I did some rough water there. The whole goal in the end is I'm going to build a waterfall that goes. I'm going to kind of build out the rock formation over the track when it goes back into the mountain, and there's going to be a waterfall coming down the mountain and then right over the track. You know, obviously I won't touch the track, but it'll be outside of the track right into the water there. That's the whole idea. So here I actually typed it in, the name of the coaster. It's Mountain Springs Rush. So yeah, basically rushing through the mountain springs. Kind of makes sense, right? I thought it was kind of a neat name. If you guys have any other suggestions, that kind of just pops into my head. So if you do have any other suggestions of what name I should use, or maybe a little bit of a change, or a whole different name, go for it. Let me know. I'm always up for suggestions, and I'm really not set on anything. If you have suggestions if you've played the game, or if you just have an idea outside from just normal thoughts, whether it could work or not, things I could do to change or add, definitely let me know. Can't say that I'll do it 100%, especially if I start getting a lot of requests, but definitely can say that I'll read through them and, I'll see what I can do. If it makes sense, I'll do it. If it's not following the kind of path where I think I want to go, I might not, but I'm going to try to, kind of include you guys into this, obviously. Anybody that is watching this that has an idea or wants something made, or not even with the coaster, obviously, or the episode currently going, maybe something else in the park that you think might make sense, or even make it more realistic. That is the basis of this whole series. It's going to be let's build a realistic theme park. It makes sense. We're trying to make it like real life. A lot of Planet Coaster parks, now I'm not saying that they're not realistic. There's a ton that have been made realistic, especially when you watch on Channel 5 Gaming, if you've ever seen those. Johnny always does a lot of these parks that are so insanely detailed and so realistic, but there's also so many, obviously, that are like a Viking park, and to real life, they're not realistic. I'm talking about something that you would actually go to in real life and expect. So even between Disney World, where there are some little extraordinary, out-of-the-world things, but they're just made things, they're not actual real mountains like Expedition Everest and rides there, but also just like the normal coasters and flat rides from Six Flags, Dorney Park, or Cedars Fair, any of those types of parks. It makes sense. It's just more of a realism thing, and obviously all the details that I'm going to go into in future episodes. At some point there is going to be an episode where I go back through probably 6th or 7th, so coming up fairly soon, 6th or 7th episode, where I'm going to go through all of everything that I've already built, go over everything in detail, add more detail, obviously, so where it makes sense to have more benches, put more benches, where something looks kind of out of place, fix it or delete it, add some more foliage and maybe some more rough terrain, not perfectly flat, because in a mountainous type of alpine or deciduous park setting, it wouldn't make sense for everything to be perfectly flat. So I kind of always want to make a leveled out park, but corners of it kind of more leveled, and higher up areas, maybe a higher plateau area, a river to go through it. Once again, natural. When there's a river, you put fencing across it, on around rides, we're going to put like a little concrete areas where the workers are able to go in to work on the coaster, on the metal coasters, put the catwalks on there where they should be, stuff like that. So when we're going to go through on the 6th or 7th episode and do all those detail remarks, we're going to go and just go through everything that's already been done. We're not going to add anything to areas of the park that haven't been touched yet. We're just going to go through and kind of do all the realism stuff. For some of you, it might be boring, but I'm obviously still going to try to not overbear it, and I'm also not going to try to make it too extended, so there'll be seconds where I'll kind of cut the filming and I'll skip to the next part, because there's obviously some things that not everybody and really nobody's going to want to just sit there and watch. There's some details that are just too excessive, obviously. Just like in this episode, there are certain things I should have filmed, like that mountain, but the minor details of everything, not everything needs to be filmed. So, but it's still cool to see you guys watching and enjoying this. So in this part, when I was doing the details on the station, I wanted to put this pipe on the outside. So I kind of had the idea of it's a water spring building. It's not in use anymore, but it had stuff, it was in use. So I had an idea to put like a pipe on the outside running down into the hill. It'd be kind of like a pump where it's pulling up water from the springs. And probably gonna add more and other stuff in the future. But this was an idea to kind of start off on the detailing. So put that pipe up against the wall. For some reason, I might still just be rusty with this kind of detail stuff, but I failed to remember how to properly get them to attach and like snap to a building. I don't remember if it's even a thing or if you have to kind of do the world access stuff. But either way, I figured it out in this episode. As you saw, I just messed up there. I unclicked before clicking the check mark, so it sent it right back to where it started. That sucked, obviously. So, if you can't tell, obviously I always voice over these videos. I don't talk while I'm recording because I'm doing just more concentration stuff and also thinking and like taking mental notes of what I'm going to talk about and what I'm saying prior to doing it. So I always voice over stuff. So I'm going to get a better mic system to actually record this. I'm actually ironically recording through my phone to do these voiceovers, so obviously I know it's not the best voice audio. And I do have lav mics, I just don't have them here with me when I'm recording these videos in the room or at the house that I'm recording at. So sadly, I don't have that quality audio yet, but hopefully in the next 2 or 3 videos, we'll be right back exactly where we need to be. If anything, I'll just order another set. They weren't the most expensive lav mics, but they're pretty dang good, and I could edit the vocals out, the audio a little bit to make it perfect. So you'll at least have a little bit better quality of my voice, but this one I'm actually recording straight through. So I haven't taken a break, and I'm 11 minutes into one single voice recording, so obviously if I seem out of breath, my bad. Sometimes I get a little bit on a ramble. But here, obviously, we're trying to put that pipe down to the ground. So, sorry, like I said, onto a ramble, got distracted there. But the goal is, I got that pipe in the ground, kind of skipped off that because I was getting annoyed, I couldn't figure out how to get it in, figured it out. Obviously, we need some lighting in the station. When it's dark out, it's not going to look good if there's no lighting. People are going to be tripping over stuff. Obviously, that doesn't happen in a game, but once again, realism. But at the same time, I didn't want to do like almost modern lighting. Once again, it's an abandoned, kind of broken apart, not perfect shape mountain spring building. So like storage, work building, pump building. So the thought, obviously the roof looks raggedy, all that stuff. I don't know why I couldn't figure out how to get in the roof here, get through into the building. Like I said, rusty, been a while. Even though this is number 4 episode wise. But yeah, I put the little wall lighting, like they're considered storm lights on here. Honestly, when it's dark out, they look perfect. They light it up enough. Sometimes you need to add a couple more, especially since this is a bigger station. But I mean, in the end, they create a pretty cool ambient lighting because it's not like the bright white modern lighting in a lot of stations. It's a very themed lighting. Making sense for this because it's old amber lighting. It's like yellowish orange. It makes perfect sense. It looks great for the type of thing I'm trying to do. So it just works. So if you're going to play Planet Coaster and you want to make more of a rustic stuff, there are rustic things, and the theme inside the station wants to stay the same like that, and you want more of an amber lighting, yeah, you could change the color of any light, so you could make it look amber, but actual cosmetic look of this, plus the actual lighting without having to change any settings, looks great in this kind of building. So here, man, was I struggling to figure out how to make a diagonal wall or to make it look good. Obviously, nobody's going to see that from the outside, except for the track coming up, so that's going to be fixed in a later episode. But from the inside, that looks honestly pretty dang good. Once that highlighted section goes out, it looks solid because it just looks like a perfect curve in the brick. The way I did it, kind of pushing it through the brick to kind of make it hide itself, hide the seam. But I mean, all in all, you know, we got what we wanted together. This was the kind of the start to all the theming of that section, especially the roller coaster right there. The reason I did that kind of round portion of path coming off of the main path and then to the coaster lines is because I'm going to do like a small shop and some bathrooms. Right at the edge there, some park benches, you know, stuff like that, which just kind of makes sense. It's like a section of the park, and then we'll have a couple flat rides out in that corner. But, you know, that's a consensus of where we're at, so we're going to take a quick look around, just kind of look at all the corners, look at the station, kind of show you guys what's up, what we did in this episode. Obviously, like I said, I didn't record the way I kind of wanted to. I did definitely skip the making of that mountain. I really thought I recorded it. I kept looking, I couldn't find it. Realized I did not I stopped recording and I completely forgot to hit record again. I had to go grab a drink, didn't want to, have to cut out a bunch of the screen recording, so I figured, hey, guess what? We're just gonna stop it, come back, re-record, and then build a mountain. I never hit replay. But I think all the basic terraforming and styling of this coaster so far is really good, so we're gonna ride it quick. Like always, guys, I thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.